Good afternoon, welcome to episode 4 of Crafting with Tracy. Welcome to my podcast. You will probably hear and see the dogs wandering around in the background. I can just see Lucy's towel behind me. Here she is, come to say hello. She always likes to get a bit of the limelight. That's dogs for you. She's going to sit there the whole of this video. You realise this, don't you? Yes, well, I thought I'd start this video by introducing a bit of sewing, not done by me, but done by my late mum, who was really talented. She used to make these bags, really, really good storage bags to keep all the circular needles in. She made knitting bags. Let me show you one of those. She made these bags as knitting bags, which keep all your wool in, and the really, really good quality quilted bags with a zipper. I want to really try and get back into sewing. When I say get back, I never really got started. Mum was always the sewing machine expert. I can sew in a straight line. I can do seams, just about. So I really want to get back into doing that because I've got a really nice brother sewing machine upstairs. This was a cushion Mum made for me because I like ringtail gleamers. Yeah, that's one she made for me, and I really want to have a go and try. So I'm going to do that. Not in the near future, but at some point. And she was really clever. She did English paper piecing. This needs an iron, but I thought I'd show it anyway. And taught me an awful lot of things that I do now. One of my proudest achievements is I designed and launched my own knitting pattern for a cow. This is called Annie's Cow. Annie was my nan. And this is made, you can either do it in the round or in a flat. So it just kind of, it's just a really lightweight 4-ply cow. The pattern is on Etsy or it's on Lovecrafts. So that's that one. I finished my crystal art card at last. That's it finished. The detailing is really good. I'm really pleased with that. I've got a few more to do, so I'll have to get going on those. Finished projects, I've got a few to show you. I finished my shawl. Well, I just wanted it to go around my shoulders. So it just kind of, just keeps me warm when it's a cold day. Which I think we're going to have a few coming up very shortly. Really, really good pattern to do. I found it quite easy once you'd remember to count your tens, groups of 10 trebles, you will find. I've also made and started and finished a pair of mittens, or fingerless mittens, because I get really cold hands when I'm typing. This week's been a bit of a rough week. I had my COVID jab and I had some really bad side effects of chills and shivers and didn't do a lot for a couple of days. That's my fingerless mittens. As you can see, they match. They're different colours because they match the shawl. So yeah, they're a pair but not a pair. But they were really easy. The pattern was, I'm in Bella Coco's crochet club, and that was one of the free patterns and workshops excuse me, that I did last week when I couldn't settle to do anything. I've started my Attic 24 blanket. So far I've done squares 1 and 2. So yeah, they're coming along. I've wound all my wool this morning so that I don't get it in a tangled mess. Excuse me. So that's been that. I've got all my ball bands kept nice and tidy in a clip with all the colour samples, so I know what to grab out of my bag. I've got a new cast on knitting. I couldn't help myself. I watch all of these blogs, and I did follow Ina Knits, Crazy Sock Lady, Craft House Magic, and they all work on several socks at the same time, so I thought I'd follow suit. So this was a new cast on. This was some of the beautiful yarn from Terry Dow that I had as a gift, and I'm really enjoying knitting it. I'm knitting it on my Zing Pros because for some reason I've only got one pair of the sharps and they're on my other socks, so I needed to go back to my old needles. So I've just ordered some new ones from Ellie, just because I need an extra spare pair in case the catastrophe happens and I end up that I can't do my knitting because my needles have broken. This was another bag that Mum made. We've had it a few years now, but they're such great bags, and that's what I thought I would have a go and see what happens. Going back, that's a crochet hook pouch. Oh, didn't have a pattern, just made it up. So yeah, I'm just want to get into it because I feel I owe it to my mum because she loved it, and I've got the sewing machine sat upstairs, so it's a bit daft. So I'm just rummaging for my other sock. That's my other sock I made. So that's the same pattern, exactly the same pattern, but just in a different colourway. Because I only have short socks, I don't really tend to do much in the way of a pattern because it's a waste of time, to be quite honest. And because I'm diabetic, I have to be careful whether I've got any bits of pattern in that can cause indents and things on my feet. So it's a bit boring, but it means I can sit and watch TV and knit away, which I tend to do. I've also started watching Arn and Carlos. I don't know why it's taken me so long to watch those, because I think they're really funny. And it's just something else to sit and watch on a Sunday when I've got nothing better to do. Yeah, it's a funny time of year. I'm really not looking forward to the clocks changing next week. It's going to be a bit of a strange situation sitting here in the dark at 4 o'clock. But I guess we'll get used to it by the time the spring comes round. What else is there to report? I don't think there is anything else to report. I've got a lot of squares to do on my crochet. I was just looking at the pattern. The chart that Lucy's done that tells you all the colours. Oh, you can see all the squares. But I think it'll be worth it when it's done. There are 81 squares in total, so I think it's going to take me a while. But that's it. But I really like that. And this is the sock pattern I use all the time. Excuse my scribble. Simple toe down socks by Ellie Jones of Craft House Magic. Who I ordered some needles from on Thursday evening. They arrived on Friday, but stupid me had ordered 2.0 size instead of 2.5. However, I've decided to keep them because Ellie does a sock tube, and I have a bit of a struggle to pick up a dropped stitch, so I've been putting it off because I find it the stitches tend to drop down because they're so tiny. Those of you that don't knit socks, that's kind of the size of the stitches. They are really, really, really tiny, and I have to look through my magnifier that I use for crystal art to pick up the stitches. But I wanted to have a go at an afterthought heel, which basically, instead of doing the heel flap, which is this part here, and then turning the heel, you knit a tube straight, so it's just round and round and round and round, and then you cut some of one thread, undo one side, pick all the stitches up and knit it so it's the same as the toe, which I want to have a go at. So I'm going to try that and see how that works out when I feel brave enough, which may not be yet, but I really want to have a go and try. So I'm going to get myself together and have a go at that. My cardigan is no more. Sadly, I had to undo it because the yarn I was using was an absolute nightmare. It was one that Mum had bought, and where you see the yarn is all twisted on this. This is Stylecraft Special. But on the yarn I was using, it was just splitting and each strand was separating, and I was trying to knit and watch TV as I always do, and I just kept gaining extra stitches where I didn't want them. So I ended up, I wasn't doing it very often because I wasn't enjoying knitting it, so I've undone it. So that's about cardigan or jumper number 4 or 5 since Mum passed away that I've had to undo because it's gone wrong. And I really don't know what's wrong with my knitting ability. I can't do it. I can manage socks, I can crochet, but I can't knit garments. And I don't know why, because I've always knitted garments. For about 30 years I've knit garments. And I don't know why they keep going wrong, and it's driving me spare. So I've decided that's why I cast on the other sock, because I thought, well, my socks are going okay, so I'll stick with knitting socks for a while, and see how I feel. I'll cast on another jumper, no doubt, but I'm having a break from it for a while, just because I can't get my head around why it keeps going wrong. It's probably just me not concentrating. My furniture's being delivered on Saturday next week. Hooray! But did I not tell you about the last debacle, what happened? Well, I ordered I was desperate for a 3-seater sofa, because I've struggled at nights sometimes when Mum wasn't well and we were waiting for ambulances, etc., to sleep on a 2-seater sofa, as you can imagine. So I thought, I bit the bullet. I found a really reasonably priced sofa from SCS, and they came to deliver it. Didn't even get it off the truck. They looked at the doorway and said it won't fit through the door. Took some measurements, took some photographs and went. And I ended up ordering a different sofa because the one I had chosen, the 2-seater one, was about £150 more than the 3-seater because it was on special offer. So I ended up cancelling that, reordering a different one, just a 2-seater, because luckily I'd ordered this recliner, otherwise I'd have nothing to sit on, because I want to put the recliner up the other end of the room we've got a big it was the dining room, but I've got a big window and I want to make that into my crafty area so I can sit there because it gets the sun in the afternoon more than this end of the room. I've got my light on now. But there I wouldn't need to have my light on because it gets the sun more. So my aim is to have where the privacy screen is behind me. I'm going to decorate that with some crafty bits that I'm going to make, and I'm going to have that as a separate sitting area, which I think is a really good idea, to have two different areas where I can craft. So that's the plan, and hopefully once the sofa comes, then I can get back into my crystal art, because at the moment I can't get comfortable, so I'm not quite sure. Projects coming up, I aim to knit more socks because I need to keep warm. I want to have a go at some more fingerless mittens because I enjoyed making those, and I suffer with really cold hands when I'm working. So yeah, that's the plan. So more mittens, more socks. As for shawls, I don't think I really knit any more, to be quite honest. I'll probably have a go at knitting another cow at some point. Get my design books out and come up with another pattern. But other than that, there's not a lot else to report, really. Yeah, so that's been my week. Hope you've all had a good week and stay crafting. Bye for now.